You may, of course, remember, as we said, this classic This Morning moment from 1998.
It's Viagra Day.
Let's take that pill.
I certainly would. You try and stop me.
The pills apparently take about 45 minutes to an hour to kick in, and then there's a sort of tingling sensation, and then we hope a lot more than that. All three will be installed in their own hotel rooms just around the corner.
So those pills have gone down and we'll see what comes up.
Really? This is it? And if you care to go that way, and we'll lead you to the cars. Well, they went off to a hotel, and they've just come back. How long have you been impotent for again?
About 4 years.
How are you at the moment?
I'm warm, I'm glowing, and I could go another 10 rounds.
Could you?
Another 10?
That was a ringing endorsement, wasn't it?
There's nothing wrong with him.
So, of course, that was 28 years ago. This Morning made history when Richard and Judy invited those three couples to try that new drug, Viagra, live on the programme.
Well, after helping men almost 30 years ago, today it's time we try and help the women. It's estimated that 7 in 10 women have experienced low libido, and some over-the-counter supplements, dubbed the female Viagra, claim to boost a woman's sex drive in just half an hour.
So later on in the show, we're going to be meeting Elaine and Emma, who have both tried libido-boosting gummies and a powder sachet at home with their partners, see how they get on. But we're starting today by meeting a couple who have very kindly and bravely agreed to try one of the pills live during the show.
Yep, Carron and Ray join us now alongside Dr. Zoe. Good morning.
Morning,
to
all of you.
Morning. Good morning, good morning.
Ray's got a big smile on his face. You're ready for this, aren't you, Ray?
Can't help it.
Dr. Zoe, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Why, when women reach a certain age, do they have this kind of loss of libido?
Well, I think even actually before women reach a certain age,
Right.
it's really, really common that women lose libido. We live really stressful lives now, really busy lives. The hormone cortisol, which people might have heard of, the stress cortisol, if you've got that circulating around your body, that actually suppresses your ability to get turned on, essentially. So if we're stressed, but once we reach perimenopause and menopause and estrogen declines, but also testosterone declines, then it is relatively common that women experience a loss of libido. But it's really complex as well. If we think about what's required for a man to be ready to have sex, they need to have this mechanism, which is stimulated by the brain, for the penis to fill with blood and get an erection. For women, it's much more complex than that. A lot more things have to happen.
Isn't it?
For men, it can be instant seconds. For women, it takes, you know, about 20 minutes usually for women to be ready for sex. And anything that interrupts that process, so be it stress, be it an argument, if you're a little bit annoyed with your partner from something earlier in the day, it's really, really difficult. So, you know, this is why women are much more likely to be in the mood if there's foreplay, you know, and foreplay isn't necessarily sexual touch. It could be doing a nice deed, taking the rubbish out, you know, preparing a meal, running a bath. All those things can make a difference, just acts of kindness. But, as we mentioned, for many years, for decades now, there's been a solution, a pill in Viagra that can help the penis get erect, and we don't have that for women. But there are certain ingredients in supplements that we're going to talk about today that might potentially have some effect in helping women get ready.
And this is what Ray and Carron are going to go and test for us while we're on air. Carron, how long have you guys been together now?
Been together 16 years, married for 6.
Yeah.
And I think initially you have a good sex life, and then obviously as you get older, we both work, and then we've got our hobbies. Ray's a drummer in a band, so he's out gigging the weekend and rallies his car. At the gym at the weekend.
Did you say valets his car?
Rallies his car.
No, rallies his car.
Yeah.
Valet, it's not a hobby, that.
So then at the end of it, you're tired, and then you sort of don't have time for each other, and your libido starts to go a little bit, the kid phase, and obviously...
And Ray, you've had an operation too?
Yeah, I had a heart bypass 2 years ago now.
OK,
So
how are you feeling now?
Well, I'm great now. Prior to that, my energy levels really took a dive.
Right.
But they're coming back now, but it's not quite as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Carron, is this something that the two of you have spoken about, the fact that perhaps you're not quite as active as you once were?
Probably mentioned just recently, yes. Yeah, and I think after post-menopause as well, I think that doesn't help as well. I think that's another factor after menopause. Your libido sort of goes as well. So it's a lot of reasons why
we are aware.
Yeah.
We are aware of it.
And you know, we're thrilled that you wanted to come in, but you're doing it on live television. Lots of people at home saying...
The tablets.
Yeah, the tablet bit. The tablet bit. We're going to let you go off and do the other bit yourselves.
The other bit, Ben.
The important bit to get the results. And you're comfortable about doing that? Were there any concerns?
Yeah, fine. Happy with it, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
OK. Well, Carron, do you want to take the tablets? While you do that, Zoe, what's in there?
So there are two main food supplements that there are some studies that support this notion that they can help with libido. One is called maca root, which is a Peruvian root, and the other is called fenugreek, which people have probably got some fenugreek on their spice cupboard, their spice rack.
Yes, and I used it when I was breastfeeding as well, actually.
Yes. So it's thought to have an effect on testosterone levels, essentially. So by increasing the levels of testosterone in the system, it can give that little boost of libido. With anything, I've just always got to say, especially with fenugreek, actually, taken at high doses, there can be some negative side effects as well. So just be careful. But, you know, taking a one-off dose, like what's happening today, is safe, and we'll be really interested to see the results.
And these are just over-the-counter tablets, right? Is there
not a prescription?
Yeah, there's nothing...
Yeah, they're not drugs, they're food supplements rather than drugs. So, you know, my advice, typically, with anything that's food supplement, you know, it's often the same advice that we give. There aren't these really good, robust studies that say that these are going to work, and they're not very, very cheap, but, you know, it's worth giving it a try. Try it for a couple of months. I always say keep a diary, be really strict about keeping your diary so you can really assess if it's made a difference. And if it hasn't made a difference, then don't do it anymore, because then you're wasting your money. But for some people, it might work.
Is it cumulative, or is it just like a one-off that you take?
So it's not something that you necessarily need to take. These aren't designed to take every day through the day. They're designed to take on the days that you
feel like
that you think you might need that boost.
OK, you're smiling already, Carron. This feels like positive. The whole experience. It's 30 minutes apparently. We need to wait for the pill to have... Right, calm. It's desperate to go.
He races cars, for goodness sakes. He likes to, like, get on with it.
When someone said it's going to be brave, and you don't think it's brave at all, do you, Rave?
No, not at all.
No, it's a lovely hotel.
I'm not taking the tablet.
No. You're just going to hopefully go and enjoy the experience. So if you want to make your way over to the hotel, which is just over the road there, and then we're going to get you back in at the end of the show, and you can let us know how you got on.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Off you go.
Oh,
Yeah, Ray, don't stop now.
Keep going. Fifth gear.
Oh.
I feel a bit like a proud parent. I don't know why. Sending them off to see what happens.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is. But equally, I think sort of something that's definitely worth bearing in mind is that as herbal supplements and food supplements, there's no concern from a health perspective that we could be doing any sort of damage.
Oh, no, not with a one-off dose like this, no. We're not going to be doing any damage. But I think something that's worth mentioning as well, you know, just the fact that we're having this conversation, that they're going to a nice space with this intention, already, you know, that's part of the...
That's a bit of an aphrodisiac in its way.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. 12:15, I think.
Yes.
They will be back on the show, so they... Hurry up, Ray, you've got just under 2 hours, over 2 hours.
Put pressure on him as well. It will all go the wrong
As he said, he's not taking the pills. He doesn't need them. We met Carron and her husband, Ray, who had said that their sex life had taken a bit of a back seat due to Carron's low libido and a couple of other factors as well.
Carron took an over-the-counter libido booster, which has been dubbed female Viagra, live on air, and we sent the happy couple off to a luxury hotel room to see if it worked. They'll be rejoining us in just a moment to tell us what happened.
Before that, though, we're joined by Elaine and Emma, who have both been trying some libido-boosting supplements for us, and they tried them at home, didn't you?
Yes.
OK.
Elaine, shall we start with you, first of all? So you'd gone through the menopause, but you were left with some symptoms, is that correct?
Yes, probably the last 3 or 4 years, I'm getting more symptoms of menopause, like anxiety, muscle aches in your joints and things like that as well, yeah.
And your libido had kind of taken a back seat.
Oh, definitely.
In what way?
Yeah. It's just, I would probably say not feeling up to it, really. No, it's just not there anymore.
Did you think about it and think, why am I not feeling like this? Or was it just, you know, you're just happy with a cup of tea?
Happy with a cup of tea?
Yeah.
No. It's not something that I really thought about. I didn't really think about it too much. It's just that it just
suddenly,
happened,
yeah.
and then suddenly I thought, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then.
And did
menopause.
it affect your relationship with your partner?
No, he's very understanding indeed.
Right.
He is, and he totally does get it because, you know, it's not the be-all and end-all of a relationship, you know, just being together and being able to cuddle and just, you know, do other things, really, you know.
Well,
so,
you
yeah.
did a video diary for us. Let's take a look at your video diary.
Well, I'm on day 3 of taking these gummies. They do taste quite nice and sweet.
This is day 4 of Turn Me On gummies. So far, I've not felt any difference. The only difference that I've felt is that my appetite seems to be quite suppressed. Today, I feel like I've got a little bit more energy than yesterday. Last night, I had a fabulous night's sleep. In any other department, so far, nothing's really been tickled. Have you seen a difference in me?
Absolutely none.
And how did they taste? Did you notice any difference at all?
The only difference I felt is that probably after about 3 or 4 days, I had a couple of really good nights' sleep.
So it helped with the sleep?
Yes,
That's
it
good.
did. In fact, I wasn't waking up as often.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
And it kind of suppressed my appetite a little bit as well.
Okay.
I wasn't really getting hungry as fast as I normally do.
But in terms of libido and boosting your libido...
Nothing.
No joy?
Didn't do anything
Okay.
at all.
All right.
Nothing at all.
And Emma, you tried the sachets.
I did.
How did you get on with those?
OK, I wouldn't say it's really to my liking. I'm not a big juiced person.
Right.
It tasted a little bit kind of synthetic for me, like it was really trying to be a juice and wasn't. But it was OK. I did drink it. I wouldn't say it had the desired effect for me. It does say to, you know, you should take 1 to 2 sachets a day, and I just had the 1. So maybe if you took more, something might have happened. But for me, no.
No. And so these are slightly different because the one is cumulative and the other one is you just take it when you want it.
Yeah, so the ones we showcased a little bit earlier were a bit more like Viagra, and that you take 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
Whereas certainly the gummies, they specify to take it every day, and then the sachets, you can take it either every day or before.
Yeah, this is what Hanks have said. Every woman is different, and whilst some may see an immediate impact, others may find it takes a little longer. If you naturally have lower levels of vitamins included in Libido Lift, we'd recommend taking it consistently across several days. Was that something you would try, doing it sort of regularly?
Possibly. I mean, it's the sort of thing that I could just pop into my smoothie in the morning or something like that, you know, rather than... it's still a little bit clumpy.
Sure.
So
It doesn't look that appetising.
appealing, but I think if I took it, yes, blended in a bit better, I could definitely give it another go.
OK. Well, look, the time has come. Earlier on, we saw Carron take the supplement dubbed the female Viagra, and then she and her husband Ray popped over to the hotel across the room for a little moment.
Yeah, hopefully a very eventful morning. Hopefully the very happy couple are rejoining us now. Come on in here, you guys.
I think you've been enjoying this, Ray, haven't you?
It's been OK.
It's been OK. First things first, thank you so much. So,
Thank you.
Carron, talk us through the experience.
Yeah, we had a good result. It made Ray very happy.
Oh.
And I think the results I think the effects haven't worn off yet, Ben.
Oh, really? So, in theory, so I mean, it's interesting. The two girls who've tried the sachets and the gummies didn't necessarily feel much, but you feel like it really has had an impact.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So what, you know, this is an experience and an experiment, so there's a little that element probably goes into it as well. But physically, what has happened? What do you think?
Probably a little bit of a flush, a little bit tingly, like caffeine sauter effect. So, yeah, I kind of feel like a mild effect. Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I do recommend. I'll try more.
And Ray, from your point of view?
I found the tablets making my back ache.
But have you noticed the difference in Carron?
Maybe. Don't want to, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, Ben.
Oh, no, I wasn't asking for details. But what, you know, what you did. But interestingly, whether you could sense that, like she was saying, she could feel a tingle. She felt more, I guess, more amorous. She felt sort of her libido was...
So, yeah.
Yeah.
OK. Dr. Zoe, what do you think? What do you think as an outcome of everything?
I mean, I think these are supplements, and like Ben said, you know, they are supplements that can potentially lift your libido. The ingredients that we're looking at, so there's maca, there's fenugreek, there's L-arginine. These are the 3 of the active ingredients that there have been studies done on. And in these studies, they do tend to find that there can be an effect. But I think what we mustn't forget is particularly, you know, the example of menopause affects your body in so many different ways. To think that we can just combat all of that with a vitamin supplement is unrealistic. You know, things like vaginal dryness, it's not going to help with that. And if you have vaginal dryness, then that's going to make sex, you're not going to be that keen on having sex. And we haven't even got into the psychological side, the relationship side. All of these things impact it as well. So for some people, actually, the right answer might be psychological therapy. It was interesting that sleeping better and just feeling better, you know, that could have a knock-on effect. So indirectly, increase arousal, libido, readiness to have sex. So I found that really quite interesting. And it reminds me to mention that actually the things we can all do to look after our libido is eat a healthy diet, you know, Mediterranean diet. Don't necessarily think individual foods like oysters or...
I was going to ask you about those.
Pistachios. You know, pistachios, for example, do contain L-arginine, which is in some of these products. But a Mediterranean diet, looking after yourself, healthy fats, lots of vitamins, nutrients, colourful plates, these can help. Being regularly physically active takes care of your circulation. Good circulation is necessary for men to get an erection and also for women to get pleasure. You know, pelvic floor exercises increase how pleasurable sex is for both men and for women, and strength of erections, and getting good sleep. If you haven't had a good night's sleep and you're tired, then your libido is going to be affected.
Sleep
and then
is
managing
magic.
stress.
Sleep is magic.
Things like yoga, things like looking into tantric yoga, meditation, all of these things are accessible as well.
What about risks? Are there any risks to anything, or is there anything in any ingredients in any of these that people should be a little bit wary of?
So I would say for someone who's fit and healthy and isn't taking lots of medications, then the doses in which these supplements have, I wouldn't be concerned about. But if you're taking medication, always just check with your prescriber, because sometimes supplements can interact. And some of these supplements, fenugreek in particular, taken in higher doses, can affect fertility, can affect liver function. So, you know, just because it's a supplement you can buy over the counter, don't take loads of it, thinking that therefore you might get an effect. It could be dangerous.
Thank you all so much for taking part in the experiment. Cameron, I'm assuming this would be something that you would be happy to try again
Yes,
at home.
definitely. I'm taking the rest of the packet home.
But that
Thumbs up
can't be
from
bad.
Ray.
That can't be bad.
That's really, really positive, and actually might be something that you girls could try particularly.
I am going to carry on with it.
You're going to carry on as well?
I'm just going to see what happens. Just
Well, if you get more sleep, it's never a bad thing as well.
sleep, it's magic.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you
Thank
for
you all so
visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.